It's birthday day!
Look at the size of that thing.
I got powder all over my pants. I got cream in my mustache.
To get to know more about Colin on the Helpful Gardeners podcast.
That's a flashback.
Garden Court.
Oh, yeah.
And this is where you come in.
There will always be a head to dead. That doesn't translate.
You know why I'm kind of okay with this time of year?
Oh, it's certainly not the weather.
Yeah. This is what makes the weather okay.
Yeah.
It's a season of love. We're in the snowiest month, but it is like the shortest month, right?
Yeah, fair.
This is why we like February. And it's your birthday.
Yeah.
We are celebrating Colin's birthday this week on the podcast. And just so you know, stick around to the end of the podcast as well, because we need your help for next week's episode as we start Garden Court.
That's it. I'm looking forward to that.
I'm so excited. But for now, are you a fan of your birthday, Colin? I know you're like a fan of other people's birthdays, but like, are you a fan of celebrating yourself?
Not really.
That's why I like celebrating you. Because it's like, you know, you give yourself so to everybody every other day of the year, but it's like this is, and I know it's a really tough time because it's Valentine's Day, kind of gets overshadowed a little bit. Your birthday is February 15th, the day after Valentine's Day. So yesterday, and I just like, I can't imagine.
Yeah, but you know the great thing about my birthday, and this is my gift to everybody else.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day chocolate is 50% off.
Yeah.
So that's
right.
that's the pinnacle I could hope for.
You know, that's so selfless. I love it.
Yeah,
But not like a huge birthday fan.
It's always it always feels awkward. I never know what to do. I don't know what to do when. Like, I can talk, obviously, and I can engage with people, but I like it backwards and forwards. I don't know what to do when, I feel very awkward when people are, like, talking about me, good things. I'd rather somebody come up and insult me, because at least I find that funny.
Yeah, and then you can have, like, a back with them.
Yeah.
I understand that.
But
I bet you...
people are like, oh... we love you and you're great, and I'm like, all right, this is awkward.
You feel like you've just won an Oscar and you need to give a speech? Like
I feel like I need to leave.
Oh, thanks, bye.
Yeah.
No, I completely understand that, and I'm sure that's very relatable to a lot of people, right? You know, having the attention on them and having to like wonder, what should I do? What do they want me to do? Like did I give enough expression? Did I do enough, kind of thing?
Sitting in a restaurant and they come out with sparklers and cake and hats. That is like a nightmare.
Okay,
scenario.
that was plan B. I'm really glad I didn't go with that one.
He's like waving at the door.
Yeah, right. No. I like to think that I know you a little bit. And so I refrained from that public. This is going to be the only form of public recognition that you're going to get from me is the podcast. This. Yeah. So I thought today, let's start with something sweet.
Okay.
Avert your attention to the brown boxes, sir.
Okay. There we go. Oh my.
Okay, so for everybody, you can watch the video on YouTube and also Spotify. I'm going to try to do this without ruining everything. Look at the size of that thing. Isn't this incredible? So this is called a Texas fritter.
That is insanity.
For everyone not watching the video, this fritter, it is an apple fritter, and it's the size of your hand.
Bigger than my hand.
Yeah, like would you say that's like a foot by a foot, half a foot by half a foot?
It's bigger than my face.
Yeah.
So whatever my face.
Bigger than your face. And it is an apple fritter, and it's just coated with sugar, pink sugar, white sugar, sparkles or sprinkles. It is like the ultimate birthday donut.
It smells so good. And you do know me because birthday donut.
Yes,
like,
birthday donut.
Win.
And so this is actually, I want to give a huge local shout out to one of our favorite donut spots in the city of Calgary. It's called Donut Party, and I think they have a location up in the Edmonton area as well. I think that's where it all started.
They're opening a second. I believe it started in Edmonton, and they're opening another location in Calgary.
Yes.
Yeah, Marda Loop, I believe.
Oh my gosh, there you go.
Don't hold me to that, but
they are going to do great in Marteloup. Yeah, that is fantastic. They have lots of vegan options. Yep. And what I like about them is, I mean, they're not like celiac friendly. Sorry, Brad, but they are like the fluffiest donut. Wouldn't you say?
So I found out so I love donuts. Not a lot of vegan donuts out there. Found out about this place. Went down, and I have turned 4 or 5 people onto it, and not one person has been like, oh, no. I went with a friend, and they walked in to get a donut. They left with a dozen donuts. No, that's a lie. They left with 13 donuts. The dozen were to take home to their family and other friends, and the 13th was so that they had something to eat in the car because the donut smelled so good.
I vibe with that so hard. Absolutely. It was so hard because you can just smell it wafting from the back seat.
And they do seasonal flavors
too. They do. Okay, so right now they have Death by Chocolate. It's just chocolate on chocolate on chocolate. They have this cherry twist one, which has sort of like a sour cherry candy embedded in the dough. So it just kind of it's like you get like a classic twist flavor, like a classic vanilla flavor, and then they just kind of twist in this like really in your face sour cherry candy.
So good.
It's so good. They have lots of different kinds. So if you're in the Calgary or Edmonton area,
they even have one that's vegan, and it was in the summer, and it's almost like a Boston cream.
Yes, I think they still had that, actually.
Okay, that might be a classic because they have that classic line.
They do, exactly. Yep. But you're right. Lots of seasonal flavors. And what I particularly love about them is they'll do this is unsponsored, by the way. I just love to nerd out about this. I just need to mention that. But they have you can do letters. So you can do happy birthday donuts and Valentine's Day donuts and things like that.
I didn't know that. So you can do custom.
You can do custom donuts, and they'll shape the donut in letters.
Okay, I didn't know that part. So you could do somebody's initials and all kinds of, oh my God.
Yeah, I know Valentine's Day is over, but if you have somebody with a birthday coming up or a special event coming up.
Or you forgot Valentine's Day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do it, right? Yeah. So love it. So if you're in the Calgary area or Edmonton area, check out Donut Party.
Okay, so this is what we're eating now?
Yes.
Okay, open it sideways.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, this is the thing I love about it. It's totally extra. I don't even know if you can try to show it. Yeah, there you go. This one's called Birthday Suit. Isn't that amazing? So it looks like a powdered donut, like a stuffed powdered donut. And it's got this squiggle of whipped cream on it and little sprinkles.
There we go. So if you're looking at the video, there's a better one. Not as ridiculously big as the Texas birthday.
I thought this one would be more manageable to eat today, so.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so that was a little birthday treat. Go in and try it. Bite.
And I noticed you didn't bring napkins.
No, I couldn't find them. Oh, there we go. See, it's just pure happiness, right?
You're filming the rest of this part of the podcast yourself because I'm stuffing my face with donut.
Holy crap.
These guys nail the flavor. It's birthday day.
Idea.
How are you not covered in sugar?
No, I am. Every time I laugh, the sugar comes off the donut and lands on me.
No regrets. They didn't fill the donut. They cut a trench in it.
Oh.
Now I'm going to be sugar rushing for another hour and a half. I'm going to try and eat that whole thing for supper.
No, you're not.
Every once in a while, you're allowed to have a donut bigger than your face for supper.
I know. Okay, before we keep going, you're going to have to wipe your beard off, your mustache.
Am I covered?
It's literally everywhere. You need to.
Okay, so where am I starting here?
Okay, start with the card.
Start with the card?
Yeah.
I have a headband. Is that actually, can that actually come off to be worn?
Yeah, take that off.
And now I have to wear this?
Yes. Party. It is meant for a child, so.
What are we doing here? Oh, donut party.
Yeah, there you go.
Donut party.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Next up, the bag.
Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to reach in.
Yeah.
And.
Okay, so tell us the story. Do you remember that day?
I don't, but I feel like I should. Oh, wait. Obviously, I'm on a green screen, am I?
Yeah, so you're on a green screen, which means this is from one of your times at Global.
Yeah.
And so I remember that was one of the times that I actually went with you, and you were doing something indoor houseplant related.
Oh, my God, I forgot about that. I like that shirt.
Yeah.
Why am I turning it to me? I'll turn it to... Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to show you guys first. Is that upside down?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Oh my God. That was one of the first videos we ever did.
It was.
Yeah.
So this is from our Halloween episode, our first ever Halloween episode, and we dressed as garden gnomes. I'll link that episode down below if you missed it.
That was when you wrote the first story, too.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Exactly. We were garden gnomes in some kind of magical forest or something. Yeah. What's that one? I forget. What?
This,
There you go. Okay, so over in the corner of our podcast studio have been these pressed flowers that have been sitting there for like...
when did you take them?
Yesterday. I came in and I put them in that book and I left.
I saw you with that
yeah,
book.
exactly.
Yes.
So I was like, I need to get these pressed flowers out of here so I can put them in a little frame. And I was like, okay, so I know Colin has this like New Year's intention to do more with his pressed flower art. And this is just like, in my opinion, I'm like, if you see inspiration, if you see what you have to do on the wall or in front of you or in a common place, like you're more likely to do it, right? He's had these sitting there and they just kind of sit there and they're not on display. And I'm like, no, we can do this. So we can put this on display in the podcast studio.
Best episode ever.
Okay, so I know it might be a little hard with the lights here. Can I see?
I love that picture
So
too.
this one is of Colin and I in my backyard. This was when I learned how to mow. This was a really big day for me. And Colin, we just decided to be a little cheeky, literally.
Yeah. But I love the fact that actually you did the cutting, but you're lying down and I'm doing the work. And if Brandy links that episode, you'll actually see, you can't really see in the picture, but I deliberately wore white sneakers.
You did?
Yeah, because I was like, I'm not cutting the grass. And I was sitting having a drink while Brandy went out and cut the grass. Because I forgot at the end, we got Brad to do a little photo shoot with us.
Yeah, we did. It was great. Okay, so this is one of my favorite pictures of you.
I remember. That's your old yard.
That was my old yard, and we did webinars. And this was when we we've been doing webinars here at Golden Acre for a long time, and then we just decided, let's do one from my house.
Yep.
And it was so cool, and I just love that picture of you, and just like, the fact that we were podcasting, and it was one of the earlier days, and so it was good.
I remember that because I remember coming and you had the little backyard and your flamingos and everything, and it was... I'm going to lie that one down because it feels like it's going to fall. Okay. I got another one here. That was in the Social West photo booth.
Exactly. Yep. We took a picture at Social West. It's one of these really cool local, I guess they do like a bunch of different kinds now, but they do like a little social media marketing. What do you call them?
It's a speaker
conference.
event. Yeah, conference. That's it, exactly.
Yeah, so we decided we're not going to be boring and just do a selfie. We're going to hold up plants and we're going to be super funny. So I thought that really captured our personality well.
Yeah, because not knocking anybody, more people are more serious than us and they pose properly and professionally.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Not at all.
At all. Oh my God, these are amazing. I can't believe we have this many pictures. This is...
Right? Okay, what's that one? Oh, yeah.
That's a flashback.
Okay, I need to show them. So this is a picture of Colin. We all know Colin does Hawaiian Shirt Fridays. What do they know? I don't know if we've
never done a podcast on a Friday.
We've never done a podcast on a Friday. So we used to do this series. If you don't know, it's called GA Kids TV, and we actually started it over COVID as like a way to reach out to the community and especially to kids to teach gardening. And so this was one of our episodes where Colin had his Hawaiian shirt on for Hawaiian Shirt Friday and posed in front of our little I remember every episode we had this pad that you would just draw on.
Remember the episode we did in the tree lot where everything came crashing down when the wind? Because that one, and also I'd like everybody to notice how excellent my art is. That's a self-portrait.
Can I see? You had a really rough time drawing hands.
I'm not a good artist. I remember the few times when I was busy and you drew me in or drew something and I was like, wow, that's obnoxious.
Way to go.
The original studio.
So this was the original studio that we had with the first year that we started. Just show this one. This was the first studio that we had. It was in Colin's office, and we were like tucked in this corner with these chairs, and it was like all the wires and everything everywhere. So I was like, we need to document.
Remember too, because you were running 2 different sound cards. Because I was running on my computer, you were running on yours. I think we tried 4 different types of microphone.
Yeah.
There was times when I would have a headset, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
I know. The grassroots.
Yeah, exactly. We learned a lot.
These are great memories. These really are great memories.
What's this one? Oh, yeah. Okay, so if anybody is wondering, this is Jimmy. Colin's doggo, and Jimmy came in to visit one day, and we decided to take a picture of him.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
You made my day. You made my birthday.
In honor of your birthday, I thought it would be really fun today to get to know more about Colin Hales behind the podcast. Get to know your gardener.
You wait until I'm sugar rush.
Yeah, exactly. Because this is going to be a speed round of 20 questions to get to know more about Colin on the Helpful Gardeners podcast. You ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Question number 1. What's your favorite season and why?
Summer, I love being able to just go outside in shorts, flip-flops, t-shirt, and just hike everywhere. Summer all day. Spring, fall. No, I'm a summer baby. I love my summer.
Question number 2. Do you prefer gardening with others or gardening alone?
If I'm gardening for myself, I prefer gardening alone, but I've had some fantastic memories gardening with Jenny and Harry and teaching others and whatnot, but it's my internal monologue and meditation.
But if it was your birthday, you're like, I'd love to garden by myself for a little bit. Got it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Question number 3. If Jimmy could talk, what would he grow in the garden?
Dogwood.
Oh, there you go. Is there like a veggie that he really loves?
Carrots.
Oh, he'd grow carrots.
He'd grow carrots if he could. If he could, he would grow his carrots. He loves them.
Question number 4. What's your favorite thing to grow in the garden?
Flowers.
Flowers.
Annuals.
Anything.
Anything bright, colorful, and vibrant. It lends into summer.
Number 5. Are you more of an outdoor gardener or indoor gardener if you really had to get down to it?
Outdoor.
You were totally outdoor.
100%.
Which is so funny because would you say you grow more plants outside versus inside?
I definitely have historically. Right now, I'm definitely, because of how busy I am and not doing landscaping anymore and whatnot, but I'd probably have more permanent house plants. No, I've got more perennials. Still more outdoors.
Yeah, in your core.
Yeah.
In your core. Number 6, what's the most challenging plant you've ever grown?
Probably the one that gave me the most anxiety was a specimen Japanese waterfall variety maple. Maybe a little over 2 foot. It was for a client, and a 2 foot tall tree was $3,400.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was. Got to keep it alive, got to make sure it's planted 100%. They didn't want to see a leaf turn brown. We couldn't use any herbicides or pesticides, not that I would want to anyway. We had to make sure it was protected because they can die in the winter in Montreal.
Yeah.
So that was probably the most nerve-wracking. Now, for myself, if I try a plant that I know is risky, I'm not going to get upset about it. It'll either make it or it won't.
Yeah.
And then the other plants, I know I can grow them.
Yeah.
So I don't have any, I'm not going to garden with anxiety. That defeats the purpose of my gardening. Yeah, that's a tree that had the most anxiety for me.
Okay, well, on the flip side of that, who is your favorite landscaping client ever?
My favorite landscaping client ever was a woman named Sandy.
Oh.
And she was absolutely, I mean, there was a lot of them, but you asked for the favorite, so I got to go with Sandy. She was one of the first ones I met. She was so down to earth and grounded. Like one day she left in her car, landscaping her property. She left in her car and she came walking home. And I was like, hey, Sandy, did you forget something? Ha ha ha. And she just looks at me, gives me a look, and I was like, you forget your car? And she's like, no, I didn't forget my car. I just locked my keys in my car.
No.
So I start laughing. And I'm like, ha, 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 I can't believe you did that. And she's like, well, it's funny that you're laughing because she's like, I locked my keys in the car after I'd put the treats I just bought you in the trunk. She's like, so your ice cream is melting and your croissants are getting warm? And I was like, do you need me to drive you down there? What do you need?
What do you need?
But she used to tell us, if you need the bathroom, just go into the house, even when she wasn't home. Told us where the spare key was. We were just her landscapers.
Yeah.
Told us where the spare key was, and then so that she didn't forget it, above the alarm code panel was the code on a sticky Post-it. So I was like, Sandy, what about the alarm code? She's like, you won't have a problem with it. And I was like, oh, she's not going to alarm her house? And I went in and I was like, oh my God. Down to earth, sweet, giving, kind, and genuine.
Yeah.
Like genuine. Wouldn't allow us to clean up her property, do any maintenance the week before Halloween.
Oh.
Because she wanted the plants looking a little dead and leaves all over the place because it added it to be more creepy for the kids. But she still insisted on paying her bill.
Oh, I love that so much.
I loved
see,
Sandy.
Sandy, there you go, right? Number 8, what's the best gardening advice you've ever received and from who?
I have had so many instructors and teachers. Simon, who I worked with, when I was an apprentice, other people that worked for the landscaping company. And I have had so many people, so many books that I've read. Mm-hmm. Honestly, to narrow it down to one, I genuinely don't think I could, because I have been truly blessed by having so much good advice.
I think it's amazing because you were also very open to that advice, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's very important when you're gardening is to be sort of like a sponge at times and learn instead of being the judgmental type, just taking in as much as you can.
Yeah, if I think of one, I'll tell you, but nothing comes to mind because there are so many things that I have learned that I can't think that there was one catalyst for it.
Yes, absolutely. I kind of like that answer, to be honest with you. Okay, number 9. What's the most rewarding part of gardening to you?
Enjoying it.
Yeah.
Enjoying it. Not enough people do it. Too many people, it seems like, we've talked about this before, they garden. And it's almost like, how many times do we hear this? Oh, well, my neighbors or this person. Mm-hmm. And then you'll see this. People do a garden and then you go and look and that patio furniture is facing the house. It's not even facing the garden, or they're sitting with their back or their side to it, and they don't walk across the grass. Get out there, take pictures of the bees, let the ants run across your feet, smell the flowers, eat the fruit. Enjoy it. Don't make it a chore. Don't make it a work. Don't do it because your neighbors are doing it. Do it because you want to, but then make sure you enjoy it. Because too often we get too busy, and I can be guilty of it. And and
then the season's gone.
Yep.
Number 10. If you could describe your gardening aesthetic in like a few words, what would it be?
Creative and adventurous.
Oh, I like that actually.
Try something. Grow a sunflower in a 1-gallon pot. I know we're creatures of habit. We stick to what's tried and true, but just try different. You don't have to try everything different all at once. It goes wrong, but play, have fun, be creative. There's no such thing as this color doesn't go with this color. Put pinks, purples, oranges, reds all in the same pot. You'll love it.
Number 11. What is your favorite eco-friendly gardening tip?
If something isn't trying to eat your garden, you're not part of the ecosystem.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think we've touched on that in a few episodes now. And it is because so often we can get so wrapped up in the problem that we don't ever think beyond the problem.
Yep.
Love that.
We see an aphid and oh my God, we lose. It should be there. You're growing delicious food. Mm-hmm. And if you're growing enough, let the aphid have it. And guess what? A ladybird will come along and now you encouraged the ladybird because you encouraged an aphid because you had tomatoes. Yeah. You're part of an ecosystem. Learn to live within it. Don't live beyond it.
Number 12. If you could garden anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Australia.
Australia. Why?
Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah.
South Pacific, I think would be a lot of fun to garden in. You can garden year round. You can do winter veggies, summer veggies, and you can just be outside the whole time. So
maybe one day.
Yep.
Okay, number 13. Is there a garden trend that you hate? I think I know one.
There is, and I don't want to call anybody out, but it's a personal thing. If you know me, that I will help you achieve it. I hate lawn. I hate pristine.
Interesting.
Pristine golf course lawns.
Yeah.
I don't like them.
I thought you were going to say milk.
Yeah, no, that's
Or
not
bonsai.
That was milk was the first one in my head. I don't like milk. Topiaries where people do curly cues. I don't like them, but I don't hate them.
Got it. But
pristine golf lawns.
Yeah.
Kentucky blue, and the amount they spend on herbicides and pesticides and fertilizers and just to push this thing. I get that it's an aesthetic.
It's just not your aesthetic.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, number 14. What is your favorite time of day to garden? Not the best time, your favorite time.
Early morning.
Okay, so best time and your favorite time.
Yeah.
Got it.
Nobody's around. It's peaceful. If you get out early enough, you have your coffee and you're looking at your garden and you're kind of going, I should weed that, a deadhead. And the sun's coming up, so it's not too hot. It's still a great temperature, so you're warm. And then you start hearing the birds singing and the insects are chirping and they're starting to come out because the sun's coming up. Mm-hmm. And you have this gentle ease into the garden where you're not too hot. And then you're done before the heat of the day hits. And then you have all day to enjoy your nice, clean garden.
Wow. So that makes me really excited for spring.
I'm an early morning gardener.
You need to have some like little bonus episode podcast where you just like read off like ASMR of dreamy garden vibes. I love this. Let me know if you want that. We can get him to do it. Okay, number 15. How do you relax after a day in the garden? Like specifically, what does like relaxing for you look like?
Depends.
Okay.
It depends. There are some days, hard gardening days, where you're out there for 8, 9, 10 hours.
Yeah.
And you're hauling around bales of cocoa coir, and you're turning the soil, and you're digging, and you're planting. Relaxing often looks like a hot shower and a cup of tea on the couch.
Inside.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're like, I need to be comfortable. I need to be. But maintenance garden days where you've harvested some food and you've deadheaded and a bit of fertilizing, a bit of weeding, sitting in the garden, enjoying
dinner
it.
outside.
I'm not a big fan of eating outside.
Oh, really?
I'm not a bit.
Question number 18. No.
No, I like eating snacks outside because sometimes you're sitting there and you got your fruity drink and then wasps are coming around and you're trying to wave them away and then you're trying to eat and then there's a fly and you're like, I just want to eat my food, man. So.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, number 16. So we were talking earlier about enjoying your garden. So how best do you enjoy the garden in general? So like, do you enjoy the harvest part the most, the lounging part, the sharing it with others? Do you do like yoga outside? Like,
I think the part I enjoy the most is watching it evolve.
Oh.
So I love seeing it go from planting day to harvest day or planting day until that frost comes and I'm changing annuals for chrysanthemums.
Yeah.
And I like watching plants get bigger and some didn't make it. Mm-hmm. And I love seeing how the garden evolves and changes through a season and following it along. And you're waiting. You're like, my daylilies. And then suddenly, boom, they're in bloom. And then 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, they're finished blooming and you're deadheading them. And then something else is coming up.
Yeah.
And I love charting it and seeing it and taking pictures of it.
I love that too. That's a great answer. Yeah. Number 17, do you have a garden motto or a tagline or like a slogan or like just something that you sort of live by in the garden?
The number one, and I say it repeatedly and everything else, is it's a marathon, not a sprint.
My favorite.
Yeah, like, calm down. Like, you're never done gardening. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter how hard you work. There will always be a weed to pull. There will always be a head to dead. That doesn't translate. There will always be deadheading to do. There'll always be harvesting, pruning, cutting the grass, edging, trimming. The list goes on and on. So you will never win gardening.
Yeah.
And if you're a gardener, even if you get your level so good where you're like, I have got this garden down, I can do my maintenance 10 minutes every week, you're like, and I think I'm going to cut a new flower bed, right? So you never really win, and that's the thing is I see too many people. We've talked about this. We've done webinars on it. Spring burnout.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Yeah.
Calm down. Just let it go.
Yeah.
Like take your time. You can get there. And again, that ties back into enjoying your garden. Too many people, I think, rush at it as a chore. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. And if you don't get to it, you don't get to it. If you do get to it and you got time to help somebody else, do that as well.
Yeah. Marathon, not a sprint. Okay, number 18. Have you ever watched a YouTube video to help you grow something?
Cannabis.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm always so interested by the community on YouTube and how you can really like learn all sorts of things. I know like when it comes to outside gardening, that could be a little bit difficult because things are different zones or different growing conditions, like more clay soil or a different kind of soil, that kind of thing. But I love that you went and looked up how to grow cannabis for an inside grow.
So outside I'm pretty good. Inside houseplants I'm pretty good. Plus I've got excellent peers and experts that I can rely on for that, who know the zone. I know them. We can trade tips. Cannabis I'd never grown before.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to try it. I mean, I just gave it all away, but I was really curious. I always wanted to try it. There's a difference between growing it well and just growing it. Anyway, the opportunity came my way and somebody, I've got all these plants. I don't know what I'm doing with them. I shouldn't have even started them. I'm in trouble. Can you save them? And I was like, sure. So they give me 3 cannabis plants and they were planted in the bottom of pop bottles with no drainage.
Wow.
A cut off Tetra Pak. And I was like, oh my God. Anyway, I got them all into pots. They didn't look great. And watched YouTube videos from our good friend Ramo.
Oh, nice.
And did some tutorials, saw what I had to know. I mean, I kind of knew the principles, but I didn't know everything.
Yeah. Cool.
Very happy with it. So that's what I've learned how to grow from YouTube.
Love it. Number 19. Is there a plant you would avoid growing in your garden?
Not a huge fan of junipers. Aesthetically, I'm not a huge fan of them.
Okay.
They're prickly. I don't like the touch of them.
Good point.
There's tons of other fun ground cover out there. And all it takes is one really, really hard winter and all the tips are browning and whatnot. I understand their appeal. I've seen them done. I've seen them done right when they're the columnar ones. Saw some amazing ones in Greece. Not my cup of tea.
Okay.
They kind of leave me cold.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. And number 20, is there a large-scale garden that inspires you? That like you'd put a poster on your wall that you think about often or have pulled inspiration from?
To Annick Gardens.
Annick Gardens, yeah.
And Elizabeth Street in New York.
I love that. Yeah, we kind of talked about those two a little bit. I'll link the episode down below, but when we did a bunch of traveling last year, so I went and visited Annick. You had also visited Annick, and then you also visited Elizabeth Street Gardens.
But I didn't visit Elizabeth Street, and I think that's why it stays with me.
Oh.
I'd never heard of it.
I thought you walked by it.
We did, but, but what I mean, though, is like I didn't go to visit it. And I think that's why I fell in love with it. I think... You think New York, you think Central Park, and you think big buildings. And taxis, Broadway, busy. And then we found this hidden gem of a garden. And we weren't going anywhere with any destination.
Yeah.
At all. We're walking and we're like, you want to go down this street? And Jenny kind of had a look at some of the stores. Nah. Oh, yeah. And that was our entire mandate. Does it look interesting? Excuse me. And we looked down and I had no idea the garden was there. And we said, let's go down this street. And I'm like, what the hell is this place? And then I went in and it was the Elizabeth Street Garden. And I started looking around and Jenny wandered off to take pictures. And I was like, oh, this is incredible. And it just really stayed in my heart. It's one of those, like, I'm willing to bet everybody in New York knows all of the things. A percentage know about that. And it kind of feels special.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps us up for this week. Well, next week, we are kicking off Garden Court.
Oh, yeah.
And this is where you come in. Each month, Colin and I are going to dive into a topic of contention among gardeners. And we're going to duke it out. Well, respectfully duke it out. This month, we are discussing seed brand loyalty. This is something that we frequently hear in the greenhouse. We carry a lot of different seed brands in the store, and we hear like total polar opposites. There's some gardeners who are like, I am sticking with Mackenzie seeds because that is my one brand and it's like blah, 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 right?
Yep.
But then we also hear the other side of it where we see gardeners kind of float from brand to brand, and each brand kind of offers something different, right? So it's really interesting, and I thought we would dive into that a little bit more. What I need you to do is hop over to YouTube or Spotify, leave us a comment or send us a voice note. There's going to be a link for you to do so, and give us your opinion. Like, do you usually stay with a certain brand when it comes to seed starting? Do you like to kind of go around, or do you like more about the diversification? What is your jam? We are going to pull.
Oh, we're picking right now. Oh,
we are picking right now because we are getting a week to look into we're going to take a stance. It may not be the stance that we 100% believe in, but it's going to force us to look at a different perspective.
Okay, so before we pull, because it makes no difference to me, do you have a stance on this? Like, we're not going to debate it now. We're not going to debate it. But
personally, I'm not about brand loyalty. Personally, I let the seed. It's almost like walking into a greenhouse and looking at the different like the different things that are available. Because I know that there's some brands that will offer like a really cool different kind of tomato that another brand might not offer. So for me, it's diversification. What about you?
I'm brand loyal to like 4 brands.
Okay, so that does not count.
I know, right?
So we're kind of along the same lines, but we also understand.
And this is why one of us has to take. This is why I love you. I mean, this was all your idea, but I love the fact that we have to take a contrary point.
Yes.
Because whoever gets it, now we're going to understand the other side.
100%. And we want to learn what your stance is on it. We're going to pull from the internet. We're going to talk to the people downstairs who are working at Golden Acre and what they think. We also have our Instagram channel at The Helpful Gardeners Pod. Make sure to go over there, give us a follow, and we're going to be posting a picture with like a poll, and just let us know like what do you vibe with. Leave a comment and just let us know so we can include it on the next episode next week. So close your eyes.
Eyes are closed.
Put your hand out, and I'll put the bowl in it. No, like other way. Yeah. Okay, ready? There you go. Now pick one.
Okay,
what is it?
All right, so I am defending brand loyalty.
Okay, Colin's defending brand loyalty, and I will be defending diversification. So check that episode out next week on The Helpful Gardeners. I think it's going to be a good one.
That's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm already looking forward to it.
I know, I already have these ideas in my brain. But don't miss out on future episodes. Make sure you're subscribed to our podcast, and make sure you tune in next week on The Helpful Gardeners podcast.
Bye, everyone.